Hey, Charles.
Hey, Mel,
We're live, Charles.
we are live. Yes.
Man, we don't have the ba 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 ba
Ba,
ba
ba,
ba.
ba,
Uh,
ba, 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 ba,
and
ba.
it's let me just start this thing here. Hello, everybody, and sorry for the boring introduction. As you can see, we are back to using Zoom tonight, and we're going to use Zoom. Hold on, let me get my thing going here so I can see your comments. I bet you everybody's gonna. I bet you everybody's gonna miss that intro. I have a
Yeah.
feeling. But anyway, we went to Zoom tonight because we want to try something a little different tonight. Um, we are, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about a lot of things, but we wanted to actually share your all of your thoughts and comments and just talk story, man. We're going to do a town hall style. That's why we're back on Zoom. It's a lot easier for us to manage when you're on Zoom. Hey, you switched sides. Yeah, I don't know how come. Charlie's on the left and I'm on the right now. But anyway, it does not matter. You got Mel and you got Charlie. And hey, Charles, how's
Yes,
this?
sir.
How's this cup, man?
Beautiful. Beautiful,
Well,
beautiful,
Charlie and
beautiful.
I were blessed today with these cups. Charlie has one. I have one. The Mel and Charlie show. Flatten the curve. Uh, Kirk Correa and Tony, his cousin Tony, was very generous in sharing this cups with us, as well as my new shirt. I'm in shape. Round is the shape. Beautiful. And Charlie has a new shirt as well.
Yep, it is. I'm so old, I fart dust.
That is so true. I actually uh I actually have one like that. It's around here someplace, but as you get older, it's true, right, Charles? You start farting dust.
Well, I don't know. I broken the sound barrier a few times. Like when you walk, you do it, and the sound and the nitrous oxide stay way back in the crowd.
Oh gosh. Oh, hold on. I got something over here. Okay, okay, okay. I'll get to that. I'm getting messages for. We're gonna wait till after 7 when everybody's on, and then we'll go ahead and share some messages. Berta Jean from Honolulu is asking us to pass on some information, and we'll get to that. But
Okay.
I really did just want to say thanks to Kirk and Tony Souza Ishimoto for again blessing us with the hats and the shirts and all of that. So thank you. And if you guys need hats or I mean mugs or shirts or thermoses or whatever, contact Kirk Korea or just Google. I mean, search in your Facebook Tony Souza hyphen Ishimoto, and they can help you out with that. So it's so awesome, man. I was at work today, and I got a text from Kurt, and then he surprised me with the mug, and I mean this is so cool. It's big too. It's big. It's
Show them all the different sides. Show them the
so
different
it
sides.
basically is all the designs from the shirts that Kirk designed. Of course, get the Okole Puka, Kawhi Strong, and of course the two handsome hunks right there in the front, and then of course the world famous Doodle Boy, all the shirts that Kirk designed and made for us for our donations to Hawaii Community Foundation. Again, that went extremely well. So,
Yes. Yes.
but anyway, tonight, yeah, we just wanted to kind of. I'll be putting up the link very shortly. If you guys wanted to join us, share your thoughts. I did want to talk a couple of things, Charlie, and before we start, and we're very close to 7 o'clock. But two things. Today is the anniversary of course, Hurricane Iniki back in 1992, and then of course in 1991, the attack on our twin towers and the Pentagon, and So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that and just ask, for everybody to, again, man, pray for all of those people. Although it's a long time ago, a lot of people scarred for life. A lot of people lost a lot of family members and friends and moms and dads and aunties and uncles, grandmas and grandpas and children. Let's start off with 9/11, man. That was horrific. It was, you remember what you were doing, Charlie, in the morning of 9/11 back in 1991?
Well, I was it what 1991 or 2011? It was 1991.
No, 91.
Hmm.
91.
Well, I know
19 years ago. 19 years ago.
so that makes it
Yeah, that'd be
19.
2001. What am I thinking?
Yeah, that's why I was like, what?
Yeah, sorry. 2001. This is tea. This is sugar-free tea. Trust me.
Yeah,
It's been a
1991.
freaking long day.
1991. Yeah, 19
92
years
was the
ago.
hurricane. 92 was the hurricane. 2001 was 9/11.
Yeah. Well,
It's also
um,
former Mayor Marianne Kusaka's birthday today. Happy birthday, Mayor Kusaka,
yeah,
and many others. But anyway, what were you
yeah.
doing, Charlie? September 11th, 2001.
Well, I remember I was still residing on the island of Oahu in Hawaii Kai at Coco Marina. It was in our condo, and I remember getting up because I like to watch the different news outlets, and there it was. What's her name? I forget. She was a TV host, and they just showed the crashing of the planes from a distance, as well as the when it crumbled. I mean, it was just horrific, and I remember that very, very vividly.
Yeah, I was at home. Back then we the house phone. We still had our house phone. I remember getting a call from my good friend, Vietnam veteran Dwayne Souza. My partner is my partner in the police force for many many years, and he called me freaking out. Said, "Man, you watching the news? You watching the news? We're getting attacked. We're under attack." I mean, he was freaking out, and he spent time in combat, and I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I thought he was having some flashbacks, and I turned on the TV, and what I saw, what everybody saw, and I started to freak out. Really, I caught it when it was they already was talking about the planes flying into it. In fact, they only had the two planes, the Pentagon and the one that was that fell short happened later. But as I watched this thing unfold, man, I got scared. I was worried. I was concerned, and I was thinking, man, here we go. We're going to war, and
Hmm.
that's what started. Of course, we know what started after that. I was still in the guard, so we were obviously thinking about being activated and all of that. And all I could think about was all of those people that were in those buildings, and just, I mean, people were jumping off the buildings to avoid being burned to death.
Yeah.
And today I was spent a little bit of time on YouTube looking back at some of the old footage, some of the news coverages, some of the documentaries, some of the tributes. And gosh, man, I mean, it seems like it was just yesterday, but there was so much that I had forgotten, and the YouTube videos just brought it right back. And
Yeah.
man, just one of those things that gosh, I mean, all things we've seen in our lifetime.
Hmm.
It's just very sad. So hey, I quickly said a prayer for all the families, because just a lot of people, all those first responders. As we look at this pandemic and we see kind of the same thing, the difference was that, you remember, after 9/11, man, the country came together. The whole
Yeah.
country came together, and it's not happening right now in this country. But we're
Yeah.
fighting a different kind of enemy. But I remember President Bush. I remember his speech. I remember him talking about how this country will stand together, and the people will pay for what they did. I remember, and everybody rallying behind. Gosh, man, 19 years ago, not that long ago, but boy, we sure have forgotten. that technique of banding together to fight the common enemy. Sad.
Well, I do have some people. I recognize their names on the thread. I'm using a separate device since we can't see it on the one that we are zooming from. I'd like to say aloha to them, especially those from the special investigators that have been working so tirelessly in enforcing some of those looking for those quarantine violators, and as well as making sure that those who are on quarantine actually are in fact on quarantine. So they joined us tonight. I saw several names that I recognized, and I'd like to extend my great mahalo to them for the job that they do. And it's not an easy job. Let me tell you. As grown-ups, as kids, we love to play cat and mouse. Chase master, right? Hide and go seek. But as
Hmm.
you get older, oh, I mean, I too old for this. You know. But the thing is, you go out, you look for them, and you just say, hey, especially when you gotta tell them that, these are the rules. I sorry. I think some of them are truly, well, I cannot say they didn't know it existed because it's like it's plastered all over the darn place. So it's very hard to tell me that you didn't know about it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you come off the plane, you step off the plane, you go to online. That should already be an indicator to you, like, oh, I may have stepped into something that uh, I don't want. It's more than I can bargain, right? And but you know all the do's and the don'ts. You're told about it, and you go to your place and says, well, because I have that leeway, there is uh, no one actually outside my door looking at me. What's a little trip down to the closest 7-Eleven or ABC store? Nothing gonna happen to me. Da 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 da. That's when it starts. And truly, if you can get provisions, the whole purpose of it is to make sure that we're already having a hard time to contact trace. We just got to make sure that you don't spread that even beyond those parameters, right? So that's why you got to do what you got to do, and that is stay put. But when you decide to go outside of those guidelines, the corridor, you always hear me say that we try to stay within the corridor. When you go outside of that, then if you do successfully, I just saying this, if you do successfully make it, then human nature gonna say, well, I did it once. You in risk take at that point. You're gonna try them again and again. And the bottom line is this: defeating the purpose. Until you yourself know absolutely 100% sure that you are not asymptomatic and you have no possible way of spreading the virus. I mean, unless you're a billionaire that have test kits readily available and you test yourself twice a day, every day. I mean, come on. So that's it. The short and long of it all.
Roger Dodger. Yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, I just saw that Molokai had some cases today, and one more death in the facility, the care home. Um, was it
Halenani.
Halenani? So yeah. Anyway, I did want to go back. Yeah, we're back on Zoom. If you folks just joined us, we're on different sides. I don't know how that happened. I really don't, but it really doesn't matter. You guys know I'm Charlie, and the guy with the green shirt is Mel. If you can see the names right there, the Hawaiian Superman and the Portuguese, that's us. So
He should be the
anyway,
Hawaiian slipper man. Slipper man.
The Slipper
Yeah.
Man.
The
I
blue
cooked
slipper man.
dinner Chris, she cooks dinner for this show. It's amazing how many of these people actually notice those subtle changes.
Yeah.
You can tell that they watch every night.
Yeah. I
Well,
don't have
I've
the
been watching this every night too, Charlie. You and I have been watching this every single night for quite a while now. We never missed a show.
Yep.
We've watched
Yep.
every single one of them. But the other thing I wanted to touch on was back in '92, which was Hurricane Iniki, and similar thoughts about how this island, how Kauai came together. I posted that the video of Kauai Aloha with Pat Morita opening up and all those entertainers, most of them, in fact, all of them from Kauai. No, not all. We had Willie Kane there. We had a bunch of well-known local celebrities, as well as the big stars from the mainland. But anyway, and it was just a song about how Kauai Aloha, how we come together. And I cannot actually watch that video without crying. It's like bizarre. I showed it once in a council meeting when we were going through a very contentious issue, and people were going really crazy on both sides of the issue. And so I played that video just to remind people. And man, I broke down because we seen it. We saw that develop. How people it was amazing how people, like for 9/11, how the country came together. Well, for Hurricane Iniki, the island came together. And for those of you that were here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you weren't here, then it's very hard. Really is. I think it's really hard to understand that concept of Kauai Aloha, because I mean, I think you have to have been here, but no one was left behind. No one ran out of food. No one starved. No one was without a place to stay. We did have some hiccups, we had some, like anything else, but for the most part, the people of this island, the National Guard, everyone else, all the National Guard guys got activated. Like I said, I was a police officer, so I was exempt from activation, but I, worked for the cops. But everywhere we went, it was just people were appreciative, people were helping, people were sharing. And, at the end of the day, that's what's going to get us to any single crisis that pops up. And I am amazed at how many people forget. How many people forget? You played a video, then all of a sudden you remember when you see the videos of the food line and the damage and the devastation, the destruction, and you see the signs. Good stuff. I just wish we could get back to that place. I wish we could get back to that place.
Well, it was trying for everyone, but for me, I was actually in Hurricane Andrew. I was in Florida when the hurricane struck Kauai. And I remember getting our orders. You guys gonna get on a plane and you guys gonna go straight over to Kauai to help out over there. And I forget how many days after we came, but they put us up at the Sheraton Coconut Beach. And I remember that was like only the only places open for all the emergency workers. And the carpets were all torn out. And we were, like downstairs where the restaurant was. And I remember there were all these utility workers from all parts of the state that had landed. And one of the first guys I met when I came to Kauai to work in helping the Kauai Police Department was you, Mel Raposo. One of the first guys I met. And been friends ever since, boy. That was some time ago, man.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
A long time ago. My son was a baby. My son was an infant. He's almost 29 years old now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, for those of you that don't know, Charlie was assigned to, he was on the cuckoo detail. The cuckoo detail. So they sent a psychiatrist over to assess all the officers that were working, all the frontline people. And it's, again, unless you've been there or done that, it's hard to understand. But you're working long hours, and I was on a looting detail, so I was having a good time, catching people trying to steal stuff. But then you get called and said, "Hey, you gotta go see the psychiatrist." I'm like, I don't need a damn psychiatrist. What the hell? I need a psychiatrist for? No, everybody gotta go. Everybody gotta go. I don't need no damn psychiatrist, guys. I want to work. I don't need to go see no psychiatrist. Well, we were ordered. So we go and we show up, and there's this psychiatrist. They all look alike. They look like psychiatrists. And then they bring the big brother right there, police officer from Maui. And now, in retrospect, I understand why they brought you, Charlie. Now I understand, because if you were not there, I would have told the guy, "Hi, I'm here, I'm gone," and I would have split. But there was Charlie right there. Hey, brother Mel, my name is Charlie Iona, Maui PD. We just got to ask you some questions, like I did something wrong. Anyway, that's how Charlie and I met, and we won't talk about the diagnosis. We
Well, put
won't
it this
talk
way.
about.
I remember I first talked to you. I go, so how you feeling? How you feeling, Mel? Huh? You feel crazy.
I just wanted to get back on the street. We had a lot of officers that had suffered a lot of damage. I lost the roof of my house, and I remember one of the guys calling me on the radio. I was a sergeant at the time, and a guy called me. He said, "Hey, Sarge, I just checked your house. Your house is fine." So I felt so good. So we didn't really come back to the house. Patsy and my son, they were in the shelter at the convention hall. And when I did come back to my house, I looked at the house and I wanted to shoot that cop that told me that my house was fine. It's like, the house, yeah, if you never look beyond the wall, yeah, it was fine, but the roof was completely gone. But there were officers that had lost everything, and they were, and so we were, those of us that could work, we kind of worked to support everybody that couldn't, that had to be with their families. And so it was a rough time. But Charlie came, and him
Yeah,
and Dr. Sword, right? Was his name
yeah.
Sword? Dr.
Max.
Sword?
Yep.
Yeah. No, was it Max Sword?
Yep.
No. Okay.
No. Richard Sword.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
no,
Richard.
no. Max Sword is, yeah. No, it was Richard Sword. Yeah. Anyway, he was kind of interesting guy. I mean, if you ask me, he needed the psychiatrist more than I did, and but Charlie made it very he filled that gap of of distrust,
Yeah.
you know. But anyway, that's how Charlie and I met, and we've been friends ever since, man.
It was good fun. It was a good
Damn.
time.
So there were some good things that did come out of the hurricane. I gotta say, some really
Mhm.
powerful friendships, and again, we had the Mel, the chief of police of Maui, used to scratch his head that FEMA sent him. The chief, the chief told me Dr. Sword requested him, probably because you was a patient of him. Maybe, I don't know, Charlie. Was you like or one of his regular patients, or?
Well, what guess who's commenting on that? Oh, I
I
can see.
I ain't. I'm not gonna say. I'm not
It's
gonna.
I'm going to
Come on.
respond. I'm going to respond to Stephanie Iona. I think I know her. I think I know her. No, it was because Maui, we had this pilot program that we worked it hard, and there was only two teams in the entire United States that did that. And they felt at the time that when they activated us, they said, "Hey, could you go and work there? The doctor wants to know, do you think it's something that?" And I said, "Sure. All you can do is try." And I told him, I'm going to be very honest. If you're asking me to make an evaluation to take away someone's weapon, I said, unless it's absolutely necessary, I said, but I ain't going there. I said, because they're exposed to a very traumatic time. We just let the dust settle, then we assess from that point on. And that's what we did, right? We let the dust settle, see how everything went, and everybody was fine. I said, come on, guys. I may be just on high school graduate from Kamehameha, but let's not ruin people's career or look beyond it, because they gotta feed their families. They're exposed. I mean, they're exposed to a horrific situation, and we'll work through it. I said, no matter if I gotta stay on island and do this 24 hours a day until every single officer is cleared to is cleared. And we made sure you folks all got cleared. I remember that real clearly. You folks all got cleared. Yeah. So,
Yeah, well, I think you forgot to tell about the part that I had to pay you $100.
well, the only reason why I don't say that is because, so yeah, he did give me $100, but it was like in 12 pieces. So, it was worth crap.
I gotta say, man, that was an interesting time. Interesting time for so many people. I know a lot of you on the show tonight are reminiscing
1992, Bert.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1992, man. My son was born in 91, 92, and there's just so many challenges during that time. And I was, thankful that I had a job that
Mm.
kept me out and kept me moving around and helping people. And there were so many people that there was no work. It's kind of similar to what we're going through with the pandemic, but it was just, again, going back to the whole point of bringing this up is the fact that if that hurricane had hit Oahu, I think different outcome. Um, is supposed and not there's nothing against Oahu people. It's just a different mindset. And for Kauai, it was I don't care where you went. We got a few calls about arguments in the line to the container for ice because everybody needed ice. And but that was rare, and for the most part, people were sharing everything, and it was just awesome, man. I tell you, it was just so awesome. And like I said, I wish we could get back to that place. I wish we could get back to that place where um, we didn't have to worry about food. And the government did. They have food lines. They had the soup kitchens was open, and but no one starved, and no one was worried about, oh my God, I'm not getting my unemployment. No one worried about any of that stuff. We knew it was ingrained in us. It was automatic that we had to help each other. We had to help the neighbor. And that's what that video Kauai Aloha. And if you didn't see it, go. I'll post it again tonight before I go to bed. But just go to my page and watch it. If that make you cry, yeah, gotta check the ticker, man. Gotta check the ticker because that thing is it's amazing. People were scalping bags of ice for $20. We did have some gouging going on, and those people, like I always say, that there's a special place in hell for people that did that. But again, if the guy was selling $20 for a can of spam, you know what? Your neighbor had a can that they would give you, so you didn't have to go spend $20. And so it was just like I said earlier, it wasn't perfect, but man, I tell you what, I if I had to go through a disaster, I'd pick this island back then. I would never want to do it anywhere else.
You know
So
what I being from Honolulu, it was a whole new. Well, I saw a lot in Homestead, Florida, working our way down towards the Keys. There wasn't too much damage in Miami. So if you just went south, you went down into Homestead, in those areas, and you go down to Little Haiti, and you just explore the area. First of all, if you haven't been down to that part in Florida where they received a massive demonstration, the military took us up to do a reconnaissance flight to go over and see what districts we're going to be working in because there's lines down right after Category 5 Hurricane Andrew just wiped out that place. You're flying, and we're looking at this place where there's like a field, and it's considered part of the Glades, the Everglades. But there's this field, and it's about 5 miles wide. But as the Sikorsky helicopter turns to give everyone inside a view, they allow us to see that the way the looks like a tornado came in, it folded down every single tree in a 2 to 3 mile width and about 7 miles long. So it looks like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know that big rock that came rolling down one time? Well, it looks like somebody rolled a big bowling ball through this part of the Glades. But what's even more odd about it, you have an oil tanker that from the ocean is dragged in almost 6.5 miles inland. And you can see, from the rudder, how it gouged the landscape all the way to its resting point. and it looks like, someone just picked it up and dragged it all the way in. So having said that, I knew what devastation was. But now coming back to Kauai, it was so emotional because he got local people, right? You can tell Hawaii people, when you start coming back into the Pacific region, you start relaxing a little because you're coming home. And as soon as I got off the plane, I just remember in awe, just everything were like broken chopsticks, everything, telephone poles lying down, totang roofs all over the place, and people trying to gather up. But what I saw was just how much the community just all got together. I've never seen so much generators in my life. Back then was the older type generators. Wasn't this inverter type stuff we get now? It was much older. And I couldn't believe how many generators. And everybody was plugged in to at least one generator. They had like a community freezer when everybody, that if they had anything left, they'll throw them in there for the people that, the community could eat. I was amazed what Kauai had. I was certainly amazed.
Well, and I know I'm missing a lot of the comments, but I did see the one about Meadow Gold. Meadow Gold giving all their pog and ice cream, taking them to the kids all over the island. They had their trucks deployed when of course when they were able to. So there's a lot of stories of heroes all through that hurricane, all through that recovery, and yeah, I remember I was the shelter manager for Kauai Community College. We had all the visitors from the Poipu and the South Shore was all there. Over 2,000 tourists that couldn't go. Mm-hmm. And I remember me and Ali Kubalan was assigned there. We're making tuna sandwiches, and then we ran out of food. And Masa Arita, I'll never forget Masa Arita. He was the manager of Star Market. It was Star Market back then. And he came and he said, Mel, just go take your trucks or whatever, go down there, just whatever you guys need, just take what you guys need from the store. Take whatever you guys want, just go take it and bring them back. And that's what we did. We brought back food for everybody to eat. And, me and Ali became chefs. It's pretty cool. But there were so many stories like that. I wish I could remember all, because there's so many. If you have a story, I put the link in here. I'd love to hear your stories about, and I know some of you guys want to hear about COVID and we'll talk about that too, but I just wanted to take some time before we got into this to talk about 9/11 and to talk about Iniki with the simple message that, hey, we supposed to come together after crises like this. And, so we're going to bring in someone here right now. I'm almost afraid to. She's in San Francisco.
I'm thinking of San Francisco.
That's another thing too, around before you start the fires on the West
fires
Coast,
in San Francisco,
Washington, California.
Hi, Oregon, everybody.
Okay, Rhonda, you gotta let the host say something first, then you can come in.
Sorry.
I should cut her off. I should delete her. She just came in and just like. I'm not gonna say nothing, Charlie. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'll let the cup do the talking.
Yeah, as soon as she came in, it was like, okay, gang, this is Captain Rhonda here, so stand down. Let me go first.
Let me regulate you guys' show a little bit.
Okay, let's go, girl. What? Tell us a Hurricane Iniki story or
a Hurricane Iniki story. I was 7.5 months pregnant. My mom, actually, we were shutting the doors in the house. And remember that story. I think when we were getting ready for this past hurricane, we were talking about, do you open the windows? Do you shut the windows? Do you leave the windows open? Everybody has their different stories. Anyway, apparently ours were open, and the roof flew off the front part of my parents' house, and I actually got sucked up, and I was holding on to the doorknob, 7.5 months pregnant. My mom grabbed my ankles, so I didn't go anywhere, believe it or not. So again, my mom saved me. That's my mom's famous story. I saved her again. But yeah, I probably would have been blown away if my mom didn't catch me while I'm holding on to the doorknob of a door, 7.5 months pregnant, getting right through the roof of the house.
You're a real life Mary Poppins.
I know, right? I was ready to fly. No umbrella, but I was ready to go.
You need to thank your mom every day of your life.
I know my mom, I'm such the trouble. I will admit I am like the family troublemaker, and my mom and my dad will always say, and we saved this one. we saved this one. I don't know. So whatever. But I remember, I also remember the Hosaka family. If there's any Hosaka family out there, they were staying in Collar Hill, and we wrapped up. Oh my gosh, my mind went blank on his name right now. He's gonna kill me. But he was just like, I think a month old. She just gave birth. Dad is
Sean.
Yes. So Sean's boy.
Hi.
In the break of the hurricane, they wrapped him up in Daddy's firefighter stuff and came running up to our house in a circle, huddling him in the middle. There was still some winds, but as soon as they could, they like ran him up to the house, and then the whole family came over to our house. So it was kind of like a big thing there. But yeah. Still somewhere. You're echoing, Tice.
Am I echoing now?
Yeah, you were echoing pretty bad.
It's just Rhonda's thoughts bouncing through my head. That's all it is.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
It's birthday month.
Wait, when is your birthday, by the way?
Next week, Saturday.
What is next week Saturday? What's the date?
The 19th.
Okay.
So
September
sorry,
19th.
I actually took a break from the show for a little bit because I've been going out all the time. Sorry. But I go out with my mask. I do go out with my mask.
Hey, so much for loyal viewership right there. Jesus Christ.
You, I wish you never told me that. I wish you never told me that, because I actually thought that you were on every night.
I am with an earpiece on in my ear, and then so I got scolded one night because the show was on. I had my earpiece on, but I was at dinner, and so I kept like kind of looking, but I couldn't comment. So
never worry about that. Every place I go, no matter where I'm at, I can be somebody's house. We could be on the golf course. That make difference. I got the Mel and Charlie show on. They go, what you doing? I go,
you lie. You so lie.
All the time.
He's such a kiss ass.
Like George Washington, I never chopped down the cherry tree. No lying going on here. Come on.
Okay. Anyway.
Angie's birthday is on the 17th. Awesome.
Oh, look, and Jane's hubby and me is the same day. Yay!
Tyson, what's your Iniki story?
Ooh, Iniki
story.
Well, oddly enough, I was 7.5 months pregnant too. What? No, Iniki, I was a freshman in high school. That was my very first week when high school just started. I was like, all right, high school, and then son of a bitch, freaking hurricane hits, and the next thing you know, no school. Yeah, it was good and bad, right? Because you had no school for a while, but like the kids figure out, it sucks when you don't go to school because you run out of things. And back then, if you got into trouble, when you got grounded, you actually stayed indoors, right? And staying indoors was the worst thing known growing up. and then, you got outside. But, for me, you got to think what, I was 13 at the time. How old was I? 13, freshman? Yeah, 13 at the time. Yeah, because Portuguese Christmas is October 17th up for me. So.
Oh my God.
I don't know. When you say you was 13 as a freshman, because when I was a freshman, I think I was 19 going on. Yeah, about 19.
No, but hey, for me, man, like I said, I think I put in the comments, but I had fun, right? You're a young kid, like, oh, you're on hurricane. I remember the night before when the sirens all went off, right? Because the storm took that crazy 9-degree turn, came straight up to Kauai. And I remember it was 8 p.m. And when all the sirens and the civil defense warnings went off, me and my brothers were sitting down. We were watching Boys in the Hood on HBO. Right? I was like, oh, Boys in the Hood, yeah. And they, woo! And I heard mom go, hey, turn on the radio, right? Back then, you had to turn on the radio. It's not like you had internet and all that. And even the regular local cable companies took a little bit of time before they started giving us the alerts and all of that. So we turn on, and you know, back then was all about the KUI, wasn't Kong. So we listened to Brother Chala and all of them. I think he came on late, that's why. And I remember mom saying, hey, okay, we can go down Big Save right now, down Koloa. I was like, okay, I'm thinking, oh, whatever, as we go. And it was pretty good. When you went down there, it wasn't crazy. And like all the other stories you said, never have people pushing people to the side. Let me get that can of Spam or Vienna sausage and all that. People pretty much, they got their batteries, got what they needed. Boom, we got back home. And I remember first thing in the morning, my mom telling us, okay, one of you can wake up with me at 4 o'clock. And I was thinking, what the hell, I wake up at 4 o'clock? No more school. But you can wake up at 4 o'clock and we can go fill up gas at Kaleho Chevron at Tabo's. Okay, so I forget when. I don't know if it was me or one of my brothers. But whoever stayed home had to start boarding up all the windows with my dad. So I was like, I think I actually stayed home. I said, I'd rather board up windows than standing on them line waiting for gas, right? First thing in the morning till they open up. But, you know, we got everything ready. All I remember was, you know, that calm before the storm. And then when the wind started coming, we would gradually start going. But, you know, about an hour in, when it started just whipping us, I was like, holy shit, this is some wind. And of course, you know, back then I had that camcorder, you know, those big monsters you have to put on top of your shoulder and hold them up and all of that. And I'm outside in my garage. And all I remember is thinking, I was like, oh, this is fun. Boom, boom. And you can hear my mom, Tyson Moises, get your ass back in this house right now. I go, Mom, don't worry, I'm getting good video. And the next thing you know, you see iron sheets just go flying right through the house. Oh, I better get my butt back in the house. But hey, the hurricane, I had fun when the eye came over us. That was the insane part, right? Because you stepped outside and you looked straight up and it was clear blue skies. And it was like, oh, it's done. And where I grew up, my parents' house in Lawai. So behind our house, all the way down to Poipu Beach, cane field and trees. So, you know, the wind had bent everything this way. When the eye came over and it shifted, everything started flipping like toothpicks, right? Just snapping on out. So when we got done, later on that afternoon, I went down and I went to my parents. I go, hey, I said, I think our house, the value just went up. They go, what are you talking about? You own tree that almost to take all the river. I go, we get ocean view property now. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
It's one of those things that, you know, you get certain experiences in life, no matter what it is, right? For a lot of women, giving birth to a child, all these other things. But you go through a nasty ass hurricane, you're gonna remember that forever.
You know, I think it's all different for different ages of life. You know, I think at your age, you know, you was an outgoing athlete. Yeah, of course, man, it's kind of exciting. But then as you get older, for me, I had a son that was a brand new baby, and he had a heart issue, and he needed to be on medication and needed to be refrigerated. So we had to buy a damn generator that we had to order from Honolulu. That they ripped us off on that. You know, took us forever to pay that thing. But for us, as you get older, it's just a different perspective of the hurricane. And but yeah, man, I'd love to be young. You know, I don't want to see another hurricane in my life, but I mean, I would much rather have been younger going through Niki than I was, because it was a different perspective, man. I was scared for everybody just getting hurt and losing everything. But yeah, it was an exciting time, that's for sure.
Hey, Mel, you know what's funny about how you said it right now? When I was young, Hurricane Niki was good fun. But now that you talk about that, all these recent hurricane scares that we got, you know, I'm like a prepared freak for all type of natural disasters. I'm not even worried about hurricane because I know you get enough water, Vienna sausage, freaking spam, whatever you need, because I know I'll be ready. But that's why my family, they tease me and my cousin Cody. They call me Thai Hagi, and they call me Kiahi Bonilla on the other side, because anytime you know weather alert, we're gonna let you know where the storm is at. But it's different, right? It's a different perspective. Get wife, you get kids. I live on top of a hill where freaking normal trade winds, I think, can blow me away. So if a hurricane come, might be Mary Poppins with an umbrella flying through the south side. But yeah, it's a different perspective, young and old.
Yeah.
When Tyson talks, that's the most wind we ever gonna experience on Kauai. Until there's a hurricane. But he gives a hurricane a bad rub.
Well, it's pretty neat. We got two guests and one calling out the other right now, but hey, that's okay. That's okay.
So
Anna likes your shirt, Tyson.
What? Yeah, nice shirt.
just
Man, I
saw
like
Anna
that
say
shirt.
that.
Yeah, I like mine too. I like mine.
I don't have mine. What's yours, Uncle Charlie?
Here, this is mine.
There you go.
Oh, nice. I didn't put one of my Kirk Correa shirts on. Sorry.
Well, I seen the shirts. I have to change. I was gonna go with the world's okayest husband, but I thought, Mom made me awesome.
So let's try to find out what's going on what's happening with you guys' jobs. What's the talk in the visitor industry now? That I know it's like a right turn all of a sudden, but what's since we got the both of you here,
We need to go back to work
Yes, we
Safely.
do.
safely. We need to go back to work safely.
Exactly.
any change in your position since the last time you guys were on? You said the same thing, but there's been a lot of changes in testing. There's been a lot of changes in the way we deal with this virus since the last time you guys were on. So let's start with you, Rhonda. What if you made the decision, if you could make the decisions for the state, what would you do?
I would open it up with testing, with safety protocols in. I would not open up to our hotspot areas, places where it's out of control.
Like Honolulu.
Like Honolulu, yeah, Honolulu. Sorry, Oahu, you guys. Yeah, like I posted before, you guys are like the children that get in trouble, and then now all the children get in trouble because you guys had make trouble. So,
But not our viewers. Our viewers from Honolulu
not
are
our
the
viewers.
ones that
Our
listen.
viewers
Yeah.
are good. Our viewers are good.
No piss off our viewers.
We need to get to the other troublemakers. But you see how everybody now we all grounded. Everybody grounded, like because somebody never listened.
Rhonda, let me ask you this, because you've been absent for the last few days or weeks. I don't know how long you've been gone now, but we had some talk
Only
a
a
couple
few
nights
days.
ago about the Senate proposing possibly working on a policy, a protocol for inner island travelers. Forget about the mainland right now, not
Yeah.
Trans-Pacific, but focusing. Let's do a pilot program for inner island travelers, where if they comply or if they participate in the testing, the screening, and the monitoring that is going to be standardized, that they
Okay.
would be able to travel between islands without quarantine. If that works, then we can start talking about the Trans-Pacific. What is your thoughts? And T, you can follow her. What's your thought on that? Or you like open up Trans-Pacific already?
No. I mean, I guess we should take it slower, right? You don't just jump into the pot. I mean, I know that's sometimes how we are. Yeah, just throw them in the ocean, see if we can swim. No, but this is a little different. I think we could, but we should have done it, and we should do it soon. I mean, people want to travel. If we're gonna do it now, so that by the time the winter birds want to come back, we have everything in place. I mean, as being in the industry, everybody that's in the industry knows there's a ton of people in the winter that comes, and that's another season for us. But if we
So you would support a pilot pilot program for the neighbor islands to see if, in fact, the testing protocol works before we open up Trans-Pacific?
I think it could work. You
Rhonda,
know,
you're
I'm
killing
not
me.
I'm not
That's a
like
yes or a no.
100%. I
Okay,
you know I'm
I
not
got it.
100% because it's scary. You know, like I want it to work. How's that? I would
yeah.
support it.
Come on, Governor Rhonda, make a decisive
I
decision.
know.
You're
See,
an
and
idiot right now.
this is why I would never be the governor. I wouldn't be able to. You got to make a hardcore decision. If I had to make a hardcore decision right now, looking at the bank account, looking at people that want to get back to work, yes, I would support it. Put it that way.
I
Tyson?
tell you right now, me, yes. But if we've had conversations now, even Rhonda, I said this from the get-go, before we could even think about trans-Pacific travel, reopening, doing all that, we got to take care of our inner island and interstate things. So that's why, if anybody followed me when he brought back that inter-island quarantine, Rick almost blew a freaking socket, because the only way we can open up trans-Pacific quarantine, I said this month, was until we didn't have an inter-island quarantine. So hey, do they want to test pilot around the island, Kauai, and get testing and all these prior to see how it works internally? Hell to the yes. And it's not only because I want to go back to work, but we've got to start figuring out ways to coexist with the damn freaking virus. Because we cannot wait for a vaccine. We wait for a vaccine, we're not going to do shit for the next freaking 6 months. And I'm going to tell you right now, Rhonda said, like, go back to work. It's a bad sign when somebody gets excited because his bell peppers change from green to purple or red or orange, okay?
Yeah, what's up with that, bro? What's up with that? Mine started turning red. What the heck?
You know what I figured out? You can't just pick them and get big and green. You just got to kind of let them sit there a little while. See, so certain good things happen with this stupid quarantine and kind of go back to work. But guess what? I'm tired of making my garden look good. I like actually go back to work. But going back to your testing program, let's get it going. Like I said, if they put Lieutenant Governor Green in control, where he's making some of these decisions, where he said September 1st, he would have started trying some type of pre-flight testing program. And he could work with other medical experts like Dr. Miskovich and all of that, who, hell, I was just telling my wife yesterday, I was like, it's amazing that our state doesn't use our experts in state like Miskovich here, who's running the SEC program for athletics, who's being called by all these national leaders, international, yet he's sitting right there at home and we're not utilizing him to the full extent that we could. But Lord have mercy, let's start figuring out ways to start getting things going with restrictions, you know, and we getting restrictions that aren't restricted. Right? You get a loophole or an exemption for everything. It no sense you make the restrictions, because you can still have 10 people go to the store, but then you get, I'm not gonna get into that solo photo mission bringing one person on top of the beach. That's stupid.
You know what I noticed about the argument of why don't we just do something? I mean, sometimes it sounds haphazard, but I always look at it from a standpoint, whatever is proposed, we got to tell ourselves, is this a solution or is this a temporary fix? So I think when we're looking at traveling, yeah, I mean, Mel and I, we were jumping with joy if they want to do it, you know, if they want to do it on the, if they want to do it towards, like, say, the inter-islands and let the inter-islands go first, I'm all for it, because that will actually take it on a smaller scale, whether or not the thing works or not. And then if it works, someone has to document it so clearly that when you start to duplicate it, you have to be prepared that if something goes wrong,
True.
but you're gonna have to tweak certain things, but not to the point where you're gonna go from one side and 180-degree flap over just because something went wrong. And that's why every single time the counties start making all these different mistakes is when they get these knee-jerking reactions. They just jump. I said, hey, wait a minute now. Just because you had a slight glitch, like on a sailboat, you don't take down the whole sail. maybe you just gotta patch them a little, but you just don't throw everything and do one big goof. And that's why I think the people of Hawaii, they get tired of it. We're now, if you're gonna ask for cooperation, it's very, very hard for them to cooperate. And I don't blame them at all, because why? They get subjected to nonsense. You
Right.
get subjected to nonsense enough times. Hey, you folks all said it before. You guys lived through a hurricane. We know what we're talking about. We're not city folks. We know what we're talking about. But every single time they throw one big wrench into that fan, you gotta ask yourself, why are you doing that for? We just needed to tweak it just a little. Until that's what they call fine tuning, right? All musicians, you see them half the time. We tune up for 45 minutes and only play for 15, because why? We're over there always constantly tuning, because we got to get something very, very clear to our ears. We're hitting the right note. And that's what I think about this whole thing with this COVID. We're almost there. The note is almost clear. But when you get one governor who has never played an instrument before, tuning all the way to the right, then all the way to the left, no wonder the thing will sound flat after a while. He says, like, show her the instrument. Let's get a new one in here. And they start turning to the right and turning to the left. All jam up.
Yeah.
But hey, Uncle
You
Charlie,
know, they're looking at a very slow testing process. Like, not every flight, not every island. Maybe 2 islands and a couple of flights per day. Because, like what Charlie's saying, we got to be able to track those passengers. So if in fact we do that, and we end up with 2 or 3 or 4 positive cases and track back to the failure or the lifting of the quarantine, then we know we're not ready. We're definitely not ready to open up to Trans-Pacific, but
Well,
we gotta
Mel,
do that litmus test.
here's what a problem I see going to happen. Until such time you sharpen the pencils and you get your contact tracing in place, because that seems to be the biggest problem. Like when they do all these test trials about cancer, right? They know what drug will work, what kind of chemotherapy, what type of regimen. It's because they went through so much of this testing period. But they had something to start with. When they didn't have the contact tracing, nobody knew where to point the finger where the thing would start. And you see, we always talk about, well, we're direct contact. Okay. The thing is, was I infected first, then I infected you? Or was it the other way around? Nobody knows. And that's why I always said, if we connect the dots, we should come back to a common point. And if that common point comes back to somebody who was on another leg of another set of infections, then we know we got it. We got a good handle on it. But they didn't even do that. And that's the part that's getting me kind of irritated, that, you're going to subject us to all of this. Make sure we got a good contact tracing program in place, because that's the only way we're going to tell whether something is working or not.
Well, let me read this. I got this at 10:58 this morning. Hi, Mel. Update you. No contact tracers called her husband or anyone in the company. This company that's working here on Kauai, one of the employees tested positive while they were on Oahu, but they work here. They're exemptions. No contact tracers contacted. Thank God the husband's test came back negative. However, mine and our son's test was compromised, meaning that those people that took the test did not properly seal our vials and it spilled in transit.
Oh my
So
God.
now we have to retake the test. So, Charlie, what you just said,
I guess
it's really hard. It's really hard. And that was this morning at 10:58. So it's not like I'm pulling that from 2 months ago.
and these
and-
people have degrees. They told us we need degrees for help out in everything.
oh man,
Well,
don't
no,
get me
feel
started with
bad.
that one.
I just got recently, I got challenged and they asked me, do you have a degree? And I said, yeah, I got 2. And I'm proud of it. And both of them I used up. I used one for one underarm, the other one for the other arm. So I get 2 degrees. It worked. It works.
What
all
level
right.
is your degree, Uncle Charlie?
put it this way. It gets dry. It gets dry.
The guy must have, someone was in our waiting room and
Oh,
I accepted him, but he decided not to come on. Hey, come back on, bro. I think his name was Kenny Logan.
yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I don't know. He was on. I clicked the admit button and he disappeared. But anyway, I think, and that's where it's going to come down to, and that's why I was talking to the Senate, that in fact the biggest issue right now is the faith and the trust in the system. Because I don't care how good the program, if you cannot implement the program properly, then you're gonna have problems. If you end up with some positives after you lift the quarantine and the state says we don't know if they came off that plane, we don't know if it was part of the quarantine people, we don't know, then this simply is not going to work, and then it's just a crapshoot, right? And we don't want no crapshoots, not on Kauai anyway. Maui wants to go test that crapshoot, they can, but the concept of making sure that this protocol, because see, we cannot stay like this forever. We know,
Right.
and we know that the virus isn't going to go away. But you would think that in 7 damn months, we would have had this figured out. That's, I think, for me, it's really hard to accept. If you look at all of the caliber, I shouldn't say caliber because the caliber was very low. But the expense, the cost of these experts that we have hired, all these doctors, all the letters after their names, all the abbreviated doctors and PhDs and whatever, and they couldn't figure this out. In fact, they caused us to go backwards. So now we got to catch up, and I feel sorry for these new people on board because they got to try to. Not only do that, they got to catch up. They got to convince the public and the decision makers that they're credible and that they have integrity. And that's the bigger issue right now. How do you do
Now,
that?
remember what we used to complain about in the very beginning, Mel? Everything it's about the messaging. And every guest we had on, we talked about that. You can tell they was looking at, I know they was looking at me, no, it's a bigger problem than that. Well, guess what? All these new groups that they've assembled all said they got to change the messaging. Because why? You got to sell it to the masses. The messages doesn't change. The masses won't buy into the program. Right now, we're at a stage that they need to get the state to buy in, the people of Hawaii to buy in to whatever they're going to do. And right now, because they BS people so much, nobody's trusting. So either you change the message and says, okay, we're going to do it. And like Tyson said, if you get somebody like Dr. Josh Green, right? Let him lead the charge to start doing it, the testing for inter-island flight. I'm pretty sure you're going to get a lot of takers. Because why? We want to travel inter-island, but we want to travel safe. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, I want to go and visit my in-laws, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law on the Big Island. But do I want to be asymptomatic and take something to them? No. Now I want to go see my kids on Oahu, but when I come back, do I want to, bring something back to the wife? No. So the thing is, we got to be able to travel safely. But right now, we know that the test kits are available. We just don't know why, like on sardine can, how you got to pull the tab and pull that can back. I don't know why nobody get the nerve to pull the can back, like pulling the trigger. Let's start the program.
I just wonder, do none of these people that are in charge ever ran like a simple program? It's amazing. Mel, you've been in football, Pop Warner. Tyson, you do baseball. I was in charge of soccer a long time ago. Uncle Charlie, you've been, it's not that hard.
You just stop short of everybody gets spots, but Uncle Charlie, you had been.
No,
but
Uncle Charlie's done. No, Uncle Charlie. You know why? Because Uncle Charlie, you don't really talk sports. I know medical examiner. I know police department. I know everything else. And you probably did though when the kids were younger. You know what I mean? But I just think
that Charlie played the whole right side of the offensive line for Kamehameha.
There you go.
The whole right side of the line.
What I'm saying is, in order to get this simple program, tracing, so on and so forth on, it's not it's not hard to track. I mean, we tracked kids. When I was, AYSO was huge back in the day, huge. And I had 370 kids in Collar Hill at the time. We had the second largest next to Ron. Ron Victorino had the biggest group in Lihui, over 400 kids, and then Collar Hill was the next biggest. And I still have schedules from back then of every group that had to either balance and play and scheduling. And I'm sure all of you have gone through that at one time or another. It's not hard. It's
Well, I tell you,
get
you
your
know what? I
team
tell you what the
together.
problem is, Rhonda. I tell you what
You
the
follow-
problem is. You get medical people, you know, the Andersons and the Parks. You get medical people making political decisions, and you get politicians making medical decisions. That's the freaking problem.
Yeah,
You
true.
let the doctors make the medical decisions. You let the politicians do the fluff, and let's move this train. Anyway, I got Kevin on. Kevin, thanks for joining us. I want to give you some time because we are almost out of time. But thank you, the first time guest on the show, bro.
Brother
I
Kev.
just-
Hi.
I just
This is
like
the,
watching
you know, I gotta
guys
tell you,
every day.
this is the scary part, Charlie, because we don't know what the hell this guy gonna say.
What? Come on.
What's up, Kevin? What's up, buddy?
No, I just thank you guys for doing your show every day. I'm in the mainland now living, so it keeps me updated of what's going on back home.
Where you at, bro? Where you at right now?
Las Vegas.
Ooh, I like go Vegas so bad. You know, the other
How's
day,
the-
I'm gonna
how's
tell
the
you a quick
numbers
story.
up
My
there?
wife, huh?
How's the numbers in Las Vegas right now with COVID cases?
I think we had 2,000 something deaths, 68,000 cases. I think we average about 300 a day.
Wow.
Wow.
You know,
But I jumped on because a lot of hospitality workers here. That's where I was working until MGM fired 17,000 people this month.
Oh.
Holy, what?
yeah, I saw that, man. I mean, what do you expect these guys to do? I mean, you know, the money's got to come from someplace. I saw a picture of one of our representatives, Mizuno. I think his name was Mizuno. I don't know if you saw that, Charlie. He was taking
Yeah.
pictures of him and his girlfriend in Vegas.
Yeah.
I guess he was coming back from someplace. This was like a couple weeks, 3 weeks ago. I would never, if I'm a politician, I'd never take a picture of myself in Vegas and tell the people in Hawaii, hey, I'm in Vegas, I'm traveling. I would never do that, but he did. Anyway, he was taking pictures in the casino, man. There's nobody there. There's just not a soul. There's like nobody there. At the time he took that picture, it was bizarre.
Well, we'll kind of see how it goes this weekend. They said we had 80% of the traffic from last year's Labor Day weekend. So it was very busy. Hotels are opening up to 50%, I think, of their rooms at one time.
Wow.
Oh.
So
Okay.
the
Are
traffic
you,
this weekend was busy.
Are you working? Are you back to work, or are you still waiting for the call?
I'm actually in a transition. I'm going from resort hospitality to commercial hospitality.
Oh.
I'm going to join a company that owns a bunch of malls throughout the US and kind of do facility management with them.
Oh, good for you. Good
Nice.
for you.
So maybe I'll be back in Ala Moana in the next year. They own that mall too, so maybe that'll be
Oh,
my
really?
Yeah.
I remember when Ala Moana used to be a mall for local people, and now, man, shit, if you don't got money, I think there's one segment of the mall that the local people can actually go. It's called the restroom. But other than that, man, it's
And the
it's
food
like
court.
high end. High end. You know what is so fun to do is go with short slippers and your t-shirt and walk into the Rolex, that the Ben Bridge store. Or the one that sell the expensive pens. What's that damn place? Mont Blanc. They all get suits and white gloves on and walk in and just look around, you know, and just watch the reaction. It's
No, I
Watch
tell
them
you
get
what.
irritated.
You in Hawaii and one blala, you wear shorts, shirt, and you're the only one. You walk into Hello Kitty and watch how everybody look at you.
Is Tyson still on?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know that
Hey
guy.
Tyson, what do you think of my distance learning board back here? Is that approved for teaching or what?
Look, man, hey, you know how it is right now, man. Anything is going to be good right now because it's just a crapshoot. Hey, and by the way, Kev, two things, man. when you came on, you forgot to say one of the most important things the viewers need to know, that you are class of 96, right? Because that's
Yes.
important in life, right? In case Mel guys don't know, we classmates.
Yeah, we
So,
are.
I can tell by the hair. I can
Hey,
tell by the hair.
Oh,
Once
And it-
again, follically challenged. Okay.
yeah.
Likely
Hey.
challenge.
I didn't
Alright.
say anything bad about being bald. It's bald is good. Bald is good.
Hey,
I would
you
shave
save
my head. My
money,
wife
money
said I
wash,
cannot. I know. I like. My wife said no. I like color my hair. My wife said no.
No, what? No.
I cannot do nothing.
I
cannot do
no,
nothing.
I dare you to dye your hair black. I dare you. Double
No.
dog.
You know, one of the things that I will never ever do is pass up a dare. So
Oh.
as
Well,
much as I
And I-
don't want to do it, now I
I
gotta
knew-
do it.
I knew that.
well, in that
And
case, I say,
because Mel and I together, and he's gonna take that there. All I can say is, good luck, Mel. I'll be watching from the side.
Charlie,
Yeah.
you get an extra bedroom in your house because my wife said I gotta move.
That's gonna be ridiculous.
So
Good,
it's
man.
either bald or black. That's the choice.
hey, dye them
Exactly.
black and bleach the goatee and your mustache.
She said.
What did she say?
said,
She rather bald?
Absolutely, she rather me go bald. So, ladies and gentlemen, get used to this. Yeah, see, it looks pretty cool.
No,
I'll keep
but
the goatee.
the thing is this, and I know this because my brother is bald. There are some people like Kev and I, you guys get good looking head, so you can go bald. There's some people over there, they cut their hair off. The thing look like one hair, like one squid. That the head's is stuck in the hole trying to come out of the reef. The head look like that. I say, brother, go Home Depot, buy Miracle Grow, and put that hair back on. You cannot go
Oh
around bald
my
head.
god.
Yeah.
You know, I
That's my
gotta
brother
tell
how
you,
he grows
Charlie,
hair back.
my head is not a good shaped head.
We
Then
are gonna
don't go.
we are cutting Mel's hair off
No.
live on FB.
Hey,
Live. We're
No, it's good. It really gonna look bad. I get one deformed head. I really do. You know, when I was in social studies class, I don't know if you guys remember this guy, Mr. Aruda. I can't remember his first name, but he was my social studies teacher. And I had my hair was kind of wild when I was young, so I would always wear a baseball cap. And I had
Was
this
he
plastic baseball
Japanese
cap. You know the plastic ones. So it was yellow. I can't remember what team. What team is yellow?
Huh?
in baseball.
what, baseball?
Oh,
Here.
baseball, the batting helmet, the batting
Pirates.
helmet. You know the
Oh,
baseball.
the
Anyway,
bumblebee,
Yellow.
the bumblebees.
Yeah,
Maybe the
in,
Giants.
in the helmet, there's the four things that hold the strap in so it fits on your head. You know that four, whatever you want to call it.
That's
the,
a hard hat.
the posts. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was forget what team it was.
The bumblebees.
So Mr. Aruda, he had a rule: no hats in the class, and I was a defiant one, and I could not take off my hat because my hair. You know, you get bullied, and then the embarrassment of people making fun of my hair was gonna be not. It wasn't as bad as it was gonna be worse than any punishment that Aruda could do to me. So I said, I'm not taking off my hat. He said, take off your hat. I said, I ain't taking off my hat. So I'm thinking he's gonna send me to the principal's office. He comes up to me and he bam right on the top of my head. The 4
Oh.
prongs went right into my head. I get 4 big divots in my head because of that. But back then you could do that. See, if I went home cry, I would get licking at home
Right.
for not listening to the teacher, right? So I have that pukas in my head right here. That's forever for life. And then just a bunch of other ones from skateboarding and all
That's
that. So
Mr.
yeah,
Earl Aruda.
Earl Aruda.
Earl.
That's him. Love. I mean, he passed away. He was an awesome teacher, but yeah, he messed up my head.
See, maybe I was just fortunate then, Mel, because I guess my parents only dropped me a couple times as a child, so I'm okay.
It's really nice. Both of you guys have beautiful heads.
But see, look, I
Beautiful.
still turned out awesome. It's okay.
You
Oh,
look good,
God.
Tyson. You look good, Tyson. Must be that class of '96.
No, everybody's challenging me to do the
I
dare.
tell you, Kev.
So yeah, I got one question, Kevin, real quick. Are there any restrictions in Vegas right now? Any quarantines? Is there any restrictions?
Just a mandated mask. Whenever you're in a public place, you have to wear a mask.
That's it.
Well, that's good.
That is it.
What about restaurants? I mean,
I was ju-
social distancing,
I was
none
just
of
gonna
that?
ask that about the restaurants, Kev, because I know brother Isaiah get his place and all that. Well, what's their restrictions with occupancy?
It's 6 feet. As long as I think it's your tables have to be 6 feet apart, and you just have to be cautious. I mean, Isaiah's restaurant's doing good. They're serving the same amount of people, just takes a little bit longer. But you know that they're really good on spreading things out, and it seems to be working. You know, we don't see the full carnage of the virus because 80% of the people you see in restaurants leave in a couple of days and they go home to their states. So
Yeah, they bring them back.
they bring them back to Hawaii.
Yeah, yeah,
That was the
that's
first
it. That's,
case on Kauai, I think. Was
I
from a
know. We
Vegas
had. Oh, you did you watch the show with Russell? Yeah, he brought it back from Vegas, but
trip. Yeah.
yeah, that's one of our favorite places, Vegas. My wife and I, we love Vegas so much, and just I
I
want to
mean,
go
the
back.
Aria's been open since 4th of July weekend, and I heard from the grapevine, I think they had 9 employees out of 2,000 test positive since they opened.
What about buffets? Buffets open?
Gone. No more
No,
buffets.
no buffets.
There's no even like the big casino I work at, there used to be a lunch line. There's no more self-serving where you can touch something somebody else has touched.
Oh,
Wow.
see that's the beauty of this show, man. Straight from Vegas, all the way. Thank you so much, man. Because we can speculate. You can try to Google and get 4 different stories of what's going on. But thank you very much for sharing.
But
Who's
you know
who's
that
the little one, Tyson? Who's the little one?
Tyson's daughter.
Oh, Eden, say hi. Say hi to all the viewers. That's,
Hi.
this is the mini me right here, man. Like at the start of every school year, you know how you meet with the teachers. I just apologize. They go, why you apologize? I go, because she is literally little Tyson. So whatever she does, I apologize.
God bless her.
I said, just call dad. No, call mom's classroom. Just call dad, and all good.
Wow.
We used to always
You know-
tell our kids' teachers, you have our permission in advance to discipline them.
Yep.
Can I
You
ask
know-
you guys a question on Kauai?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Our biggest problem right now coming up is rentals. The governor just had to extend the non-eviction mandate 45 days because I think we're somewhere around 35,000 people are going to be evicted.
Wow.
So I was wondering how's Kauai doing with people not being able to pay rent and stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
they
I
got
mean, we
the-
have
Bad.
definitely have cases like that. The governor has a ban on evictions for not paying rent. Yeah, I think people misunderstand this. The protection from eviction is only if you cannot pay rent because of COVID. So you cannot go invade somebody's empty house and go make ownership and then expect that ban on evictions to be there. So anyway, the counties and the state now is putting up a lot of the CARES money to offset or to help people that need to help pay rent, offset the rent costs up to $1,500 on Oahu. I think it's $2,000 a month, and it's going from August to December. So I think we're okay for the most part, but people are struggling. I mean, it's people are not paying for other things so they can pay for rent, and it's a mess. I mean,
Well, here's the thing that's happening is with that though, there's this domino effect. You forgo
Yeah.
paying the rent because of the that moratorium, from getting evicted, or the mandate, I should say. But then now the property owners are saying, okay, what if the lender is now calling in their chit saying, hey, you got your mortgage to pay. So now what is the problem? Because now you're gonna have, if this thing is not figured out properly, I think what's gonna happen is all the way around everybody gonna lose. And so that's the thing I think they need to try to figure how they can work that out. Because there are a lot of, especially the younger homeowners that bought as an investment per se. They went in with a very large note, and how that note was paid off is by renting out, and that would go towards their mortgage. But now, since that renter cannot pay that mortgage now is floating, and it's doubling and tripling. So what would normally be maybe like a $2,000 note, they're looking at a $6,000 to $8,000 note. And if they're not working, what do you do? So it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I needed to read this message from Alberta, from Berta. Berta Jean lives in Kalihi, and she's saying, for the island of Oahu, if you could pass this information on, I would appreciate it. Hi, family. I'm currently working on a grant that will pay individuals, couples, and families their rent if they were impacted financially by COVID. It can be their own unit, clean and sober living, or transitional housing. If you know anyone, please pass on this email, and I'm going to post her email. It's Alberta's, ALBERTAS at ihshawaii.org. I'm going to post that in the comments. That's for Honolulu.
Yeah.
Oh,
What happened?
you saw that in the comments? Because remember earlier today, they announced
Josh
that
Green?
one of his staffers, Josh Green, tested positive. So he
Tested
got tested.
positive for
So
COVID.
apparently his test came back positive for COVID.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Laurie just posted her Hawaii News Now. Josh Green positive.
Well, gosh, that's not a great way to end this show.
Yeah. We were
wow.
such a
Well-
hot. Well, prayers to the family, prayers to him that he pulls through. He of all people should
He's a healthy guy. I mean, gosh.
healthy and yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, I put that email, Alberta's at ihshawaii.org. If you guys on Oahu need some help, please. If you're on Kauai or any other island Catholic charities, get in touch with your local Catholic charities office. Gosh.
Hey, Kevin.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Kevin, I'd like to ask you something. If you can get together with some of the ex-Hawaii Pats that you're in contact with, we'd love to bring you on just so you can, do a show with all of you folks and just let us know how ex-Hawaii people are doing up there, especially during this time. We really would like to know.
I'll get back to you. We're actually having breakfast in a couple of days. I posted a mainland version of Loco Moco, and they all made fun of me and told me they want to take me out for breakfast. Hey, you should try it. Mashed potatoes, Salisbury steak, and mac and cheese.
Well,
Check out my Facebook page.
you know what they call that? They call that. I have something similar to that. They call it pot pie.
Fart pie or pot pie? What'd you say, Charlie?
Yeah,
Has it got dust on it?
fart and pot pie. Don't forget now. Let me get my my shirt here. There you go. There you go.
oh,
It should
Hey.
say fairy dust.
I'll get that set up. I need a favor though. We have a pandemic here. Not only are we out of toilet paper, but we're out of TVs. Everybody bought new TVs with their stimulus check.
oh yeah.
And mine just broke and there's no TVs in the store.
What?
Really?
Bro,
They're all gone.
Wow.
Just like, wow.
I went in, I think, to buy diapers 2 months ago and I saw everybody buying the 70 inches.
Oh,
Wow.
that's what happened, man. Everybody, no one really knew that that this was going to be lasting that long, and they went out and bought cars. And I know car sales guys was pushing a stimulus for down payments and a lot of new cars on the road. They'll be back in the showroom pretty soon. They'll be back on the auction block. But anyway,
Most definitely.
it's 8:15. I want to respect you guys' time and everybody else's time. Kevin, thanks
It's
for
the
joining us,
loud
man.
mouth of
Thank
we
you.
can go all
Thank you so
night.
much, Rhonda and Tyson, and the mini me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on our show.
thank you for being on the show, Hawaiian. Don't be shy like your brother now.
Just wanna really ask every one of you. We talked earlier about 9/11 and Hurricane Iniki, and praying for all of those that suffered from both of those tragedies. We ask tonight, and gosh, I'm kind of floored, but ask for prayers for Josh Green, Dr. Green, good friend of ours.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, it's a bummer. Just pray for him and his family, because this guy he's all about helping people. He's all about Yeah, I call him Dr. Green. I mean, we call him Lieutenant Governor, but to me, he's more of a doctor than a Lieutenant Governor. It's just that's all. The power of prayer is powerful. So everybody tonight, say a quick prayer for Dr. Green. Charles.
Thank you very much. We've got so many requests. We're gonna flatten the curve.
We are.
We are. So you guys are all gonna join in for
Oh, shucks.
all of
I need my ukulele.
all of
I need my ukulele.
all of you folks out there.
Hang
that
on. I
want-
gotta go get my ukulele.
Yeah.
We haven't
But
done
it'll
this in a very long time, Charles.
We haven't.
We
Yeah,
have
and just to let you guys know, Kevin has a majestic, beautiful, angelic voice. So we should just let him sing, I think.
Oh, I think my battery's dying. What the heck's going on?
you gonna get your ukulele there. Oh yep. So anyway, I'd like to say thank you to all our viewers tonight on the town hall. I know we could.
Hawaiian ukulele.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Look at that burning fire.
Wow.
It's all out of tune. We haven't done this in a long time, and I know people saying how can you guys do this with the Lieutenant Governor? But you know what? I know Josh would appreciate
Because he
this
would
right
laugh.
now.
He
Yeah,
would
he
laugh
would
and he
laugh.
would appreciate it. Yeah.
And we will do this. We will do this tonight for him because, guys, we all, man, we got to flatten the curve, guys. We got to flatten the curve. We're doing a great job on Kauai. Everywhere else needs our help, needs our prayers. Everybody just wear your damn mask. Social distance, wash your hands. How hard is that?
Basket.
Okay, Charles. You guys all got to participate. You all got to participate. Wait, ho. Charles.
Anak.
You forget already? You gotta do the vamp. You gotta get us there. You cannot just start like that.
Haina may anak ko ng
Okay.
corporate.
Yeah, you know how you start the.
Hey Tyson, you heard me do the vamp, right, Tyson?
I heard
Oh,
him.
Oh, I'm
we don't
sorry.
do tiny bubbles? The Kalapaki style?
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
We get some new people on, Charlie. That doesn't know what we're gonna do. But anyway.
Okay, get ready. Thank you, everybody. Aloha.
Wear your mask.
Hey, God bless you guys. Pray for the Lieutenant Governor. Pray for Josh Green. We love you
Yeah.
guys. We'll see you tomorrow
Meet him
night,
back.
7 o'clock.
Mwah, Josh Green.
Aloha.